Prologue. A definition of a prologue is an introductory speech preceding the first act of a play, etc. An example of a prologue would be the beginning of Star Wars, where they explain the movie. Monologue. Definition of a monologue is a part of any drama where a single actor speaks alone. This is an example of a monologue. Soliloquy. Definition of a soliloquy is a speech spoken by a character in which he expresses his thoughts. It is not spoken to anyone, but the audience can hear the character. This is a soliloquy, and it's written by Shakespeare, and it was Hamlet, so it was very famous, which was a good example. Aside. The definition of aside is remarks spoken to the audience that are not heard by the other characters. Example of aside would be this right here. He's talking to the camera, but he's not talking to other characters. Only the people who are watching would be able to hear him. Oxymoron. Definition of an oxymoron is a figure of speech combining two contradictory terms. Example of an oxymoron would be a stop sign telling you to stop, while another sign telling you to keep moving. Since these are both side by side, it is an oxymoron because there's two contradictory terms which could be confusing to the people. A pun. Definition of a pun is a play of words, sometimes using different meanings of the same word, and sometimes using the same meaning or sound of two different words. An example of a pun would be frog parking only. All others would be toad. This is a example because toad and frog are two things that are alike. Stage directions. Definition of stage directions: comments on when and where the action. An example of stage directions would be this. Tone, general motion or atmosphere. These are some common tones. Comedy. Definition of comedy is a play intended to make the audience laugh. It is amusing and entertaining. An example of a comedy would be Garfield. Tragedy. Definition of a tragedy is a serious play with an unhappy ending. Usually the hero is defeated by the forces that are stronger than he is. An example of this would be this right here. Acts. Definition of acts is the major divisions of a play. This would be Act 1, Act 2, and Act 3, and these are like the shorter divisions. Scenes. Definition of scenes is what acts are divided into. See, last one I had was these major divisions. These are scenes, which are those smaller divisions.